So this project is actually really interesting because when I was an undergrad at the University in Regina, I was working in more larger scale installation. And then over the years, I've actually pared down to working on much smaller sculptures. So this is actually, it feels like it's like a 20-year leap, and I'm going back to doing something much bigger again. So it's been really exciting. So over the years, yeah, I've worked on sculptural stuff and then a whole line of functional work and sort of bringing in politics and art and conversation commentary through those two lines of work. But this has just been a super exciting way to sort of expand and sort of scratch that itch to make something really big again. So I was thinking about borders in the sense of, well, in a lot of different ways about ideas of boundaries and bubbles. And originally I planned for a different project for this piece, and when COVID happened, I had to shift what I was doing because I was going to be working in clay and hand-built clay, but then also working with industry. And so suddenly I didn't have access to the industrial side of what I needed to do to accomplish it. So I decided to start working basically with what was happening around me. And so my work has always been political commentary or social commentary, and very much trying to locate myself within these conversations as a settler, white, privileged person, and approaching the topics from that way. And so making a piece about COVID, that's where I came from. So I was looking at the ideas of boundaries between people, about the social bubbles that we were creating, but also just the tiers that we have within society of essential workers versus people who, so half of what you saw online is that there was people fighting for their rights, and then the other half were taking up new hobbies. So I was sort of thinking about the borders and boundaries between the different classes of people. Well, so basically I focused on my response to what was happening within the pandemic, and what I was, even just the social media bubble that I sort of have through my channels of Facebook and Instagram and all of that stuff, and then trying to break outside of that, because obviously COVID has become very political and divisive, and so a lot of my research sort of tried to take to see the other sides of how people in this. And so it would have been very easy to get into the bubble of the white privilege of, I'm picking up knitting now. But so a lot of my research really just delved into looking and trying to create, to gain perspective on how other people throughout the world were dealing with this and what was happening. And so it was a lot more looking into personal stories too, rather than statistics and numbers. And just trying to find the humanity behind all of the numbers, because I think we could get lost in that and it becomes just sort of, it's just numbers. And so painting all of these portraits on these plates of essential workers, to me, it was about finding those stories and just trying to find a way to showcase that there are all of these different stories out there. So there's also a lot of research into imagery and what have you. So all of the paintings are sort of derivative or combinations of different images and stuff of real people that I found and sourced. And so part of that too is it's not going out and meeting essential workers and photographing them, because again, like part of COVID is that you can't do that. So a lot of the research was finding the imagery and working from that as a source too. I think for me, my work is always just trying to exist as a point of conversation between myself and somebody else. And so as much as I'm putting a lot of how I feel into my work, I'm really putting it there because I don't have all the answers. So I'm trying to create a space where we can have a conversation. So I guess what I hope people would take away from it is this desire to just be more engaged in the world around them, because I think that's, when I make art, it's all about engaging with other aspects of human nature or things that are happening around the world. And so I'm just sort of asking other people to get in that conversation with me, and whether or not we agree or not, just having that conversation and that dialogue so we can all grow and be better people.